Hello friends, welcome to Daily Sourdough. Today we are making sourdough pasta. Homemade pasta is always so much better than store-bought pasta. There's just nothing like homemade pasta. And then on top of that you make it out of sourdough starter and it is phenomenal. Definitely a recipe you're going to want to try and maybe use on a regular basis. We'll start by taking 1.5 cups of flour. This is just all-purpose flour. You can mix up your flours if you want. You can use some all-purpose flour, some durum flour. You can even try using it out of vegetable flour. Always use some all-purpose flour. And it's really nice to mix it either on a countertop or a cutting board. And what you do is you pour your flour, this is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, pour it onto your countertop or your cutting board. Make a nice little heap. Then with your fingers or a fork, make a well in the center of it. And inside your well, crack 2 eggs. And by making the well, it just allows you to hold your ingredients inside the flour so that it doesn't spill out the side. Oh, and there it goes. So that's when a bench scraper comes in handy. You just scoop it back up and put it inside. On top of the eggs, put 1/2 cup of your starter, and it can be fed or unfed starter. It does not matter. So now when it's running all over, I'm going to have to work faster. But just gently mix all these ingredients together with your fork. Just add the flour a little bit at a time. This just helps it make a smoother dough. And it's a traditional way of doing it, so it makes it fun. So just keep working with it until all your ingredients are mixed together. And as you can see, the dough is starting to come together. This is just a labor of love, so keep working at it. Then once your eggs and your starter and your flour are mixed together and the flour is moistened, then use your hands to finish the job. And the bench scraper is a must with this, so you don't lose any of that good stuff. Now we'll just gently knead the dough. And some flours absorb the moisture quicker than others. So depending on the type of flour you use, you might need to adjust the amounts a little bit. But just gently knead the dough until it all comes together. Now wrap your dough in plastic wrap, and instead of just leaving it in a bowl and covering it, I'm just going to cover it completely with the plastic wrap because this will keep it more airtight and it will stay much softer this way. Then let it rest in the refrigerator at least 8 hours. I'm going to let mine rest overnight, and we'll finish the pasta noodles tomorrow. It's day 2 and I'm ready to cut my pasta. I just took it out of the refrigerator and my pasta dough is very soft, so I'm just going to roll it out while it's cold. But if your pasta feels stiff, then let it come to room temperature so that it's softened up and easier to roll out. But generally when you wrap it in tight like this, it stays soft. also going to cut it in half because I want to roll very thin fettuccine noodles today. I'm just going to use half at a time. Make sure that your surface is well floured so that your pasta doesn't stick and you can roll it really thin. The thinner it is, the quicker it is to cook. I don't have any fancy pasta making equipment. Of course, this is a lot easier if you do. If you have a pasta maker, then lucky you. I just have a rolling pin. So it's going to take a little work to roll it out by hand. And just keep rolling until it's as thin as you want it to be. And you can cut it in different shapes. If you cut it into squares, then you can make ravioli. If you cut it into wider noodles, you can make lasagna. So just be creative. There. And in order to cut straight noodles, I'm going to use this ruler to help guide me, just so I can make a really nice straight cut. And you can use a knife or a pizza wheel, and then just go ahead and cut the pasta whatever size you want. Sourdough homemade pasta is just a real labor of love. Takes a little time, but it's so fun. So just have fun with it. Enjoy the process, and you will, the results are so delicious. You'll be well rewarded for your effort. Once you have your pasta cut, then you need to hang it to dry. And I don't have a pasta hanger. Some people hang it over the back of their chairs. I'm going to use my laundry rack and just hang it right over these dowels. You can rig up anything, a dowel across a chair, anything will work like that. But pasta needs to hang to dry on both sides, so that's why you hang it. And we're gonna let it hang and dry for 30 minutes before we cook it. After your pasta has dried on the rack for roughly 30 minutes, then you can either cook them, they're ready to cook, or if you want to store them for a longer time, coil them gently around your hand, let them dry a little longer, just like this, and then you can either put them in a Tupperware container and store them in the refrigerator for a few days, or you can put them in a container and freeze them, and they'll stay good for a long time in the freezer. Just pull these little coils out, drop them into boiling water, and cook as usual. So friends, making sourdough pasta is so fun and easy, and sourdough pasta doesn't make you feel bloated and full like other pastas do. Be sure and try this recipe, and the cheese sauce recipe made out of sourdough starter that we made last week is really yummy on this pasta. So be sure and follow the link below for the cheese sauce. When making this pasta, you will love that. And be sure and stay tuned, because I have even more recipes to share with you on how to use your sourdough on a daily basis.